What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for information on living in Maryland. Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Frederick, Maryland. Alright, so what's so great about living in Frederick, Maryland? Well, we have to start by talking about the downtown scene. There are over 60 bars and restaurants in downtown Frederick. You have everything you can think of, from sushi to ramen to steaks to burgers. You have Cuban food, you have Indian food, you have everything. You have so many restaurants that you could go on a date night every week of the year and still not hit everywhere. You also have local breweries that are right downtown. You have distilleries that are also local to Frederick. It is just an awesome place to go for a night out on the town. And while we're talking about downtown, we can't forget Carroll Creek Park. So the city has decided to turn a river that runs right through downtown into a river walk, and they did an amazing job with it. There's stone and paved walking trails everywhere. There are restaurants and breweries right on Carroll Creek, so you get that water vibe with fountains going and everything right in downtown. It's a really cool place, and pretty much everyone that goes to downtown Frederick is going to take a walk on Carroll Creek Park. Another great thing about living in Frederick, Maryland are the outdoor activities that are so close by. If you like hiking, there are dozens of trails within just 10 minutes of downtown Frederick, and even more within 30 minutes. And if you like mountain biking, you have some of the best trails in Maryland nearby in the Frederick watershed. It is a great place to go. They have beginner all the way up to advanced trails, and it is really cool. And another great thing about living in Frederick, Maryland is the location. You could be hiking those trails in the mountains in the morning, and then in the evening be enjoying some Thrasher's fries on the Ocean City Boardwalk, because Frederick is just 3 hours from Ocean City, Maryland, making a day trip there really easy. So it's hard to come up with some cons of living in Frederick, Maryland, but one thing really stands out, and that is the traffic if you are commuting from Frederick to Washington, D.C. There is a highway called I-270, and it always has accidents, it always has traffic, and it is never fun to commute on. So if you're thinking of moving to Frederick because you have a job in Washington, D.C., you might want to rethink that, or if your job allows you to come in earlier, that would be a better option, because that highway is rough to drive on. Now, if you're commuting to Baltimore, that is a totally different story. Route 70 is much better, has much less traffic and much less accidents, and it's a pretty straight shot there. In about 30 minutes, you could be in downtown Baltimore, assuming there's no accidents. So that's a much better commuter route if you are thinking of living in Frederick but working in Baltimore. And I had to scrape together one more con of living in Frederick, and this applies to all of Maryland, and that's that in the wintertime, there's just not that many winter activities to do. We are not like living in Colorado where you have tons of mountains to go skiing. We barely get enough snow for that, so in the wintertime, it can get pretty boring. You're gonna have to plan some winter trips elsewhere if you're into snowboarding, skiing, or any other winter sports. And that's really all I could come up with that's negative about living in Frederick, Maryland. I'm sure someone else could come up with more, but I'm a little biased. I love Frederick, Maryland. I think it's one of the greatest places to live in all of Maryland. And if you have any questions at all about living in Frederick, Maryland, or you're looking to move to Frederick, Maryland, please give me a call. My information is listed below, and I'd be happy to help you.